Rich Dad Poor Dad is a compelling story shared by Sharon Lecter, touching upon the contrasting financial teachings and life advice given by two fathers, one rich and one educated, or poor, in the context of financial wisdom. Sharon, a hardworking mother and accountant, alongside her husband Michael, both of whom followed traditional advice for success, getting a good education and securing a well-paying job, realized that this path did not lead to the financial security and freedom they had hoped for. Despite their best efforts, including ensuring their children receive the best education, they faced the reality that the world has changed. The advice of study hard and get a good job no longer guaranteed success. Sharon's narrative unfolds as she recounts a moment of enlightenment, sparked by her son's skepticism towards traditional education and his ambition to be rich, regardless of his educational attainment. This skepticism challenges Sharon to reconsider the value of conventional wisdom about success and financial stability. She realizes that despite their achievements, she and her husband are caught in the rat race, working endlessly with little hope for financial freedom. The turning point comes when Sharon and Michael encounter Robert Kiyosaki, an innovative businessman and investor who introduces them to his educational game, cash flow. This game, unlike anything they've seen, teaches players about accounting and investing in an engaging way, demonstrating the stark differences in how the rich approach money management compared to the middle and poor classes. Sharon's journey, shared through the book, is not just about financial education. It's a call to break free from outdated modes of thinking and to embrace new, bold ideas about money, investment, and personal growth. She urges parents to teach their children more sophisticated concepts about money, to prepare them for a world that values financial intelligence over traditional academic achievements. Rich Dad Poor Dad is a testament to the power of innovative thinking, the importance of financial literacy, and the need for a paradigm shift in how we guide the next generation towards true success and financial independence. It's a story that encourages us to question, learn, and teach differently, for a future where financial freedom is attainable for those willing to think outside the conventional box. In Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki tells the story of growing up with two dads. His real father, whom he calls his poor dad, and the father of his best friend, his rich dad. Each dad taught him different perspectives on life, especially regarding money and education. His poor dad, despite being highly educated and intelligent, struggled financially throughout his life. On the other hand, his rich dad, who never finished 8th grade, became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. This tale of two dads is not just a story about financial success and failure, but a profound insight into how attitudes toward money can shape one's destiny. Kiyosaki's poor dad preached the conventional wisdom of working hard, earning a degree, and securing a good job. He saw the house as an asset and believed in the importance of job security and government or company-provided benefits. Conversely, his rich dad focused on financial independence, investing, understanding how money works, and seeing a house as a liability if it's your largest investment. Kiyosaki was caught between these contrasting philosophies from a young age. He observed that while both men believed in hard work and education, they had vastly different outcomes in life due to their beliefs and actions concerning money. This dichotomy led Kiyosaki to a crucial realization: financial education is key. He learned that the rich don't work for money. Instead, they make money work for them. This lesson, among others from his rich dad, set Kiyosaki on the path less traveled. A decision inspired by Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, which profoundly influenced his life choices. Rich Dad Poor Dad is essentially about the 6 key lessons Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad about achieving financial independence. These lessons emphasize the importance of financial literacy, minding your own business, understanding the history of taxes and the power of corporations, inventing money, and working to learn, not just for money. Through these teachings, Kiyosaki aims to guide readers toward building wealth in an uncertain world, advocating for a shift from the traditional mindset of working for money to one where financial education and smart investments led to financial freedom. In Chapter 2 of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki shares his first lesson on wealth. The rich don't work for money. This lesson begins with a young Robert feeling excluded and labeled as a poor kid by his peers, sparking his desire to become rich. His father's advice to learn to make money sets Robert and his friend Mike on a path of discovery and entrepreneurship, albeit with a humorous start, involving collecting toothpaste tubes to melt down into counterfeit nickels, which they learn is illegal. The real learning starts when Mike's father, whom Robert calls his rich dad, offers to teach them about money. Instead of traditional lessons, Rich Dad's method involves putting the boys to work for extremely low wages, then for no pay at all, to teach them the value of learning over earning in the short term. This unconventional approach frustrates Robert, and eventually leads to a breakthrough. The boys realize that working for money is a trap that most people fall into due to fear of not having enough money and desire for the things money can buy. Rich Dad explains that true financial independence comes not from a high salary, but from making money work for you. This concept is illustrated when Robert and Mike start their own business, a comic book library which generates income without them needing to be present. This venture teaches them the power of owning a business and the importance of financial education. Through Rich Dad's guidance, Robert learns to see opportunities where others see obstacles. He understands that emotions can cloud judgment and that financial intelligence is key to overcoming fear and desire. Rich Dad emphasizes that the path to wealth is through controlling one's emotions and making informed decisions, rather than seeking security through a traditional job. This chapter lays the foundation for the rest of the book's lessons, highlighting the importance of financial literacy, the distinction between assets and liabilities, and the mindset shift required to move from employee to entrepreneur. It's a call to action for readers to educate themselves financially and to learn to make money work for them, rather than working for money their entire lives. Chapter 3 of the book discusses the importance of financial literacy by sharing personal stories and examples that illustrate key financial concepts. The chapter begins with the author recounting how his friend Mike took over his father's successful business empire and how he himself retired early, emphasizing that retirement to them means having the freedom to work, or not while their wealth grows automatically. This introduces the idea that financial independence is about building assets that generate income over time. Much like a tree that grows strong enough to sustain itself, the author reflects on frequent questions he receives about how to get rich, which leads him to discuss the downfall of some of America's richest businessmen in 1923, highlighting that despite their initial success, most of them ended up broke, insane, or imprisoned due to the Great Depression and their lack of financial education. This story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of being financially literate in a world of economic ups and downs. The main lesson the author imparts is the difference between assets and liabilities. He stresses that rich people acquire assets, things that put money in your pocket, while the poor and middle class acquire liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket, thinking they are assets. This simple but profound rule is at the heart of becoming financially independent. The author criticizes the current education system for not providing financial education, which leads to adults struggling financially because they don't understand this fundamental distinction. To make financial concepts accessible to children and adults alike, the author suggests starting with simple explanations and visuals. He shares that from a young age, he and Mike were taught by Mike's father, referred to as Rich Dad, using simple drawings and concepts, laying a strong financial foundation for them. This approach enabled them to build significant wealth over time. The chapter concludes with the author urging the reader to focus on acquiring assets and becoming financially literate to navigate the financial challenges of life successfully. He emphasizes that understanding and applying the concept of assets versus liabilities is key to escaping the rat race and achieving financial freedom. In Chapter 4 titled Lesson 3, Mind Your Own Business, we learn an invaluable lesson from Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. During his visit to an MBA class at the University of Texas at Austin in 1974, Keith Cunningham, a student in the class and a friend of the author, recalls how Ray Kroc surprised everyone by stating that he was not in the hamburger business, but in the real estate business. This pivotal moment highlighted the importance of focusing on the location of each franchise as a key factor in McDonald's success, demonstrating that the real estate under each franchise was the real asset being bought by franchisees. The chapter goes on to emphasize the crucial distinction between one's profession and one's business. While many people work hard in their professions, they often neglect to build their own business, which should revolve around acquiring assets that generate income. The author criticizes the current educational system for focusing too much on preparing individuals for jobs that revolve around wages, rather than teaching them to acquire income-generating assets. This leads to a financial struggle for many, as they end up working their entire lives for others, with little to show for it at the end. The narrative underscores the importance of understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, and encourages readers to focus on building an asset column that can provide financial security. The author shares personal anecdotes and lessons learned from both his rich dad and experiences, advocating for acquiring assets that one is passionate about, whether it be real estate, stocks, bonds, or intellectual property. The chapter concludes by advising readers to keep their expenses low, reduce liabilities, and diligently build a base of solid assets. It also stresses the importance of financial literacy and understanding accounting and cash management as crucial skills for analyzing investments and building one's own company. Ultimately, the lesson is clear: to achieve financial independence and security, one must mind their own business by focusing on building and maintaining a strong asset column. Chapter 5 of the book dives into Lesson 4, the history of tax and the power of corporation. Beginning with a personal anecdote about Robin Hood, the author contrasts the romanticized view of Robin Hood, who stole from the rich to give to the poor, with the perspective of his rich dad, who saw Robin Hood as a thief. This sets the stage for a broader discussion on the perception of taxation and its impact on different social classes. The narrative then shifts to a historical overview of taxes in England and America, noting that originally taxes were temporary measures to fund wars. However, income tax became a permanent fixture in both countries by the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Initially, these taxes targeted the wealthy, but eventually, the burden shifted to the middle class. The author's rich dad emphasizes that the idea of taxing the rich to support the poor and middle class eventually backfired, leading to a heavier tax burden on the latter groups. Further, the chapter explores the concept of corporations as a strategic tool used by the wealthy to minimize their tax obligations. It explains how corporations, originally created to limit financial risk on trading voyages, offer significant tax advantages and legal protections for their owners. The author reflects on the lessons learned from his rich dad about the power of financial knowledge and the importance of understanding how to navigate the legal and tax systems to one's benefit. The author also contrasts the differing philosophies of his educated dad, who worked in government and believed in the role of government in helping people, with that of his rich dad, who viewed government workers and taxation skeptically. This personal reflection highlights the complex interplay between government, taxation, and individual financial strategies. In summary, the chapter argues that a lack of financial education among the poor and middle class leaves them vulnerable to the unintended consequences of tax policies initially intended to target the wealthy. It advocates for greater financial intelligence and the strategic use of corporations to protect and grow personal wealth. Through personal anecdotes and historical insights, the author encourages readers to challenge conventional views on taxation and to seek financial independence through savvy legal and financial planning. Chapter 6, titled Lesson 5, The Rich Invent Money, starts with the story of Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, who faced rejection from Western Union when he sought to sell his patent and company for $100,000. This historical anecdote leads into a reflection on the nature of wealth, innovation, and the fear of change. The chapter contrasts Bell's story with a modern tale of a man losing his job, highlighting the emotional and financial turmoil that can accompany economic shifts. The author, drawing from personal experience as a teacher since 1984 and a Marine Corps pilot in Vietnam, discusses the commonality of self doubt among people and its role in stifling potential. The narrative emphasizes that success in the real world often depends less on academic achievements and more on qualities like courage, boldness, and creativity. The chapter advocates for developing a financial IQ, taking risks, and embracing change as ways to unlock personal and financial growth. Through anecdotes and personal insights, the author argues that the transition from valuing land, then factories, to prioritizing information reflects a broader shift in what constitutes wealth. This shift demands adaptability and financial literacy to navigate the fast-paced changes in the economy. The chapter warns against clinging to outdated ideas and encourages embracing new opportunities for wealth creation, highlighting the role of information in the modern economy. The use of a board game, cash flow, as a teaching tool illustrates the practical aspects of financial education, showing how understanding cash flow and financial statements can lead to escaping the rat race. The game serves as a metaphor for life, providing immediate feedback on financial decisions and behaviors. In summary, Chapter 6 encourages readers to overcome fear and self-doubt, develop financial literacy, and embrace change and risk-taking as essential components of success. The chapter uses historical examples, personal stories, and practical tools to illustrate how shifting perspectives on wealth and embracing innovation can lead to financial prosperity and personal fulfillment. In Chapter 7 titled, Lesson 6, Work to Learn, Don't Work for Money, the author shares a story from 1995 during an interview in Singapore. The author was there to speak alongside Zig Ziglar, focusing on the secrets of the rich. During the interview with a young reporter who admired the author's success and expressed her own aspirations to become a best-selling author, the conversation shifted towards her frustrations with her writing career not taking off despite her talent. The author suggested that she could enhance her career by learning sales, a suggestion that offended her due to her perception of salespeople and her pride in her academic achievements in English literature. The author then pointed out that being a best-selling author means mastering both writing and selling, highlighting the importance of sales in success. Despite the reporter's resistance to the idea, the author emphasizes the broader lesson that acquiring additional skills, particularly in sales and marketing, can significantly boost one's income and career prospects. The chapter further discusses the common pitfall of talented individuals underachieving financially due to a lack of financial intelligence, and the importance of learning beyond one's primary field of expertise. The author argues that mastering a combination of skills, including accounting, investing, marketing, and law, can lead to financial success. He shares his personal journey and the advice from his rich dad to prioritize learning over earning in the short term for greater long-term success. The author advocates for a broader approach to education and career development, emphasizing the value of a diversified skill set over specialization. The narrative concludes by stressing the importance of giving back and the principle of give and you shall receive, contrasting the approaches to wealth and philanthropy between his rich dad and his educated dad. The chapter is a call to embrace continuous learning, venture beyond traditional career paths, and understand the pivotal role of sales and marketing in achieving success. Chapter 8, titled Overcoming Obstacles, discusses the challenges that individuals may face even after becoming financially literate. Despite understanding how money works, people often struggle to build wealth due to 5 main obstacles: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. 1. Fear. The chapter emphasizes that fear of losing money is common, even among the wealthy. However, the key difference between the rich and the poor is how they handle fear and failure. Rich individuals view failure as a learning opportunity and a stepping stone to success, whereas the fear of loss prevents many from taking the necessary risks to build wealth. The advice given is to start investing early to leverage the power of compound interest, thus reducing the impact of fear on financial decisions. 2. Cynicism. People often let their doubts and the negative opinions of others deter them from investing. The story of Chicken Little is used to illustrate how cynicism can lead to missed opportunities. The chapter advises ignoring the noise from cynics and focusing on analyzing opportunities rather than critiquing them. 3. Laziness. Laziness is not just about inaction, but also about staying busy to avoid confronting financial realities or opportunities. The cure for laziness, according to the chapter, is a bit of greed, allowing oneself to desire better things and asking, how can I afford it? Rather than saying, I can't afford it. 4. Bad habits. Our financial state is often a reflection of our habits more than our education. The book stresses the importance of paying oneself first before settling any bills or debts. This habit ensures that individuals prioritize their financial growth and are motivated to find additional sources of income to meet their obligations. 5. Arrogance. Arrogance, defined as a combination of ego and ignorance, can lead to significant financial losses. The chapter advises against pretending to know everything and encourages seeking knowledge or expert advice in unfamiliar areas. The overarching message of Chapter 8 is that overcoming these obstacles requires a shift in mindset and behavior. By addressing and conquering fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance, individuals can pave the way to financial independence and the realization of their dreams. Chapter 9 of the book delves into the journey of acquiring wealth, emphasizing that it's not inherently easy, but achievable through a consistent and determined mindset. The author shares his belief that everyone possesses an innate financial genius that often remains dormant due to societal conditioning which discourages the pursuit of wealth and lacks education on making money work for oneself. He criticizes the common belief system that prioritizes job security and reliance on government or company support post-retirement, highlighting the importance of financial independence and the proactive management of one's financial future. To awaken the financial genius within, the author presents 10 steps based on his personal experiences and successes. These steps include finding a strong reason or purpose beyond mere existence, making conscious daily choices towards wealth, investing in one's education, selecting friends who share financial goals, learning and mastering new formulas for income generation, exercising self-discipline, paying professionals well for their advice, utilizing investments to purchase luxuries, and the importance of giving back to receive more. The narrative stresses the significance of developing a strong, emotionally driven reason for wanting to be rich, choosing to learn and grow financially every day, and the power of self-discipline in managing finances. The author argues that investing in one's education and learning from the right circle of friends can significantly influence one's financial success. He also advises on managing and paying well for professional advice, learning from successful investors, and the importance of being charitable as a means to invite more wealth into one's life through personal anecdotes and practical advice. The chapter encourages readers to awaken their financial genius by rejecting societal norms that limit financial growth, adopting a mindset of learning and adaptability, and understanding the power of giving as a catalyst for receiving. Chapter 10 of the book provides practical advice for those eager to take action beyond just understanding financial philosophies. The author stresses the importance of halting ineffective habits to reassess strategies, seeking out new ideas and opportunities, and the significance of taking decisive action. For example, the author talks about how they found and acted on investment opportunities in real estate and tax lien certificates by learning from books, seeking advice from experienced individuals, and not hesitating to make offers on potential investments. The narrative emphasizes learning from every source possible, whether through books, seminars, or first-hand experiences, and underlines the need to be proactive and persistent in making offers, even if it means facing rejection or seeming absurd. The author also shares a personal story to illustrate the power of financial intelligence over hard work. By investing $7,000 in a real estate deal, the author showcases how strategic investments and financial savvy can significantly impact one's financial goals, like funding a child's college education or securing early retirement, without relying solely on traditional savings methods. In summary, the chapter encourages readers to take control of their financial destiny through education, action, and a willingness to explore unconventional paths to wealth. It argues that financial success comes not just from hard work, but from smart work and financial intelligence. The author urges readers to invest in their financial education and to see money as a tool that, when used wisely, can offer freedom and opportunities for growth and happiness.